today's podcast and, a few podcasts coming up are going to be sponsored by our partners at NordVPN, who basically, they run the safest, most secure, most simple way to keep yourself protected whilst using the internet, Jacob.
They literally, and I don't want to exaggerate this, saved my life last weekend.
Good Lord, talk to me.
I was in Dublin and Tommy Fleetwood was at the top of the leaderboard.
We'll get to that.
And I would have missed the whole thing if I couldn't get onto my NordVPN and watch it whilst I was abroad. It was perfect for that. It was so good.
Yep, I will. I'll double your Dublin.
Okay.
I was in the waiting room of a Portuguese public hospital.
As you do.
And on Sunday night. And Fleetwood was going down 16 and 17. And I checked the group chat and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have any way to watch this. Oh, wait, I do. Told the VPN I was in the UK. Bashed up the app. Scrolling there. Yes. Child who's ill.
Don't worry about that. There's something more important going on.
Let's see if he sinks this putt first.
Yeah.
So with NordVPN, you can get 4 additional months when you buy a 2-month plan by going to the link nordvpn.com/roughcut. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you don't need to worry about try it out. You will not need your money-back guarantee because it is so easy, so secure, so simple, really, really affordable. Go and do it. We're all doing it. If you want to see Fleetwood win more majors, win more PGA Tour events, it's the only thing you should be doing right now.
You don't have to worry about it.
That's it.
You can watch it.
You never have to worry about missing a tour event anywhere in the world ever again and being safe while doing it. Right. We're going to get to the podcast. We'll see you in a sec.
Sometimes golf is a pain in the butt. You hit your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. Cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and a third hello. Welcome to the 140th episode.
Nuts.
Of the Rough Cut.
That's a lot of fingers,
podcast.
that. I can't even count that.
That's so many fingers that you would need 14 people.
Well, there we go.
To count that many podcasts.
I'm trying to think of what is a 14. It's like a football team and half the bench.
Yeah, 14 is 2 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of what is something that would require you to have 14 people in one place that you could utilize there.
7-side match.
There you go. Get together with all your mates.
Stand like this.
7 aside. And that is how many episodes we've done.
That's how many episodes we've done. Now, there will, just to let you know, the people who are now watching this with, through their fingers, there will be no gulp, gulp, gulp on this episode.
There won't be.
Got a little trigger happy last time. We'll put it behind us. Moving forward, far less gulp, gulp, gulp.
I'm going to drink now. You're not going to hear anything.
Go on, do it. Nothing's going to happen. No, he did it himself. But yes, it's Mick, it's Jacob. Peter Finch is actually on holiday.
Yeah.
He was in America for a very long time. Now he's on holiday, enjoying some well-earned rest. We are still here.
Yes.
We have just been away, but we're now back in order to do the podcast. Before we get to talking about the 2 greatest golf achievements of the entire year, we are first going to talk about who is going to lose Team USA, the Ryder Cup, and the Tour Championship. And a man so beautiful, they named him Tommy Fleetwood.
They gave him 2 first names.
Thomas Paul Fleetwood.
There you go.
Mac.
As the kind of resident Fleetwood fan base, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think it is right that we are here.
We're the best equipped to worship him.
Yes. This will be potentially a snooze fest for everyone that doesn't like him, but who does? Because everyone loves Tommy Fleetwood. It's just one of the most, in what has already been a golf season of amazing stories, one that has just encapsulated the whole year in such a great way. I don't think I've seen a single person that was upset or disappointed what happened on last weekend, certainly from my perspective. It did this year start to feel like one of those things that was just going to keep eluding him. And there's always the thing of people saying that it will happen, but sometimes they just don't. These things don't happen. We were saying it for many years with Rory. Fortunately it did, but it was just such a enjoyable experience, not only to watch him play, to play good golf over the weekend, drive it incredible over the weekend as well, by the way, but putt incredibly as well. And I think, well, obviously, we're getting it into a little bit more. Or should we do it now? Should we have a little chat about it now?
Yes. So you're a stats heavy man.
I do love a bit of stats, yeah.
But which we are going to get into. But let's just talk about what it is that is so monumental. Tommy Fleetwood became the second English winner of the FedEx Cup, following on from Justin Rose having won it before.
Yes.
And his victory at the Tour Championship is the first of his PGA Tour career. It earned him 7.39 million GB pounds, which is $10 million.
Right.
Russell Henry and Patrick Cantlay were second. They were 3 strokes behind Fleetwood, which I think is monumental because in previous occasions where he has been very close, he has lost by 1.
Yes.
So giving himself that nice buffer meant that he didn't have to go out and shoot a zillion under par. He still did. He still shot really well on day 4. But, you know, he wasn't forcing himself to into that position because he had played so brilliantly the previous 3 days. No one could catch him. And Fleetwood's success ends a run of incredible near misses. Of course, we had the Travellers.
Yep.
Where he was
sniped by Keegan Bradley.
Yeah, Keegan Bradley just did him with a little...
On that front 9 on Sunday, I was worried again. I was like, you are not doing this again, Keegan. Go away.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Keegan Bradley in a lot more detail in a minute. And the FedEx as well. The FedEx St. Jude, which he got ludicrously close to winning again.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see someone from our country. He is a proud Englishman, a proud Evertonian. It's so nice to see someone so unanimously supported. I can't think of anyone who doesn't like him.
No, I don't. I've never met anyone that has a bad word to say about him, which is a testament to him as a person. Not only in people that know him, because it's obviously very easy for us as people that have met him on occasion, but we don't have daily conversations or really understand the guy behind the golfer.
I have a daily one-sided conversation with him.
Right.
I just DM him every day.
He just doesn't reply.
Tell him how much I love him.
Yeah. No, it's, I mean, those last 2 events you say that he came mightily close to winning. The first one was the first time that I think you really went, oh, you've thrown that away there. Like, you should have won. The FedEx St. Jude was a little bit different. He just didn't quite get going on that final day. And obviously Justin Rose and JJ played really well going into that. This one definitely, he obviously put himself in the best position. And I feel like he was playing the best golf over those other 2 events. So it felt more confident going into that final day. But I will say, he obviously played very well. I think he shot 2 under on the final day. He didn't have that guy that pushed him all the way to the end. There was Keegan. Patrick obviously had a really rough start. Scotty started to come through, then shoved it in the water on 15, which kind of eased, I think, a lot of things off, because when he's coming in hot, you're like, oh no, this is going to happen again. But Tommy just did what he needed to do. He played really solid golf. As I say, his putting was amazing. We'll get onto the stats a little bit later. It's as I said before at the start of the show, it's just such a nice full circle experience and event to see someone actually do the thing that you think they should be able to do.
Yeah,
it was starting to feel like something that might evade him, and now everyone does the exact same thing we did when Rory won, is that we go, when's his first major going to happen? You know, how many more PGA Tour events is he going to win? You know, like, it is very quick to, and he is good enough to do that, granted, and don't get me wrong, there's no one I'd love more to then go and win a major next year. But it is also quite quick and reactionary to see someone, you know, he has just won for the first time.
Just let him enjoy
He's
it.
taken like 160 odd goes at this. Like, so, you know, hopefully, I mean, from a Ryder Cup perspective, obviously, like, things are really blossoming up into like a nice position for us. You know, you want your top boys like Fleetwood firing on all cylinders, and, you know, all the others that we'll get into. And also, just as a side note as well, with this, we haven't mentioned at the top of the show, stick around till the end, because today Keegan Bradley is making his picks for the Ryder Cup team. So we're going to live react to that. I'm sure we'll get into who we think should be in the team in a moment, and then we'll see how close we are. But if you want to see our live reactions, end of the show, wait for that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one where we could see We could see some picks that people don't expect. We could see some picks that people are expecting not get picked. I would like us to do a list of people we think he'll pick and a list of people as a Team Europe biased podcast we hope he picks.
Yes.
Because they're easy targets.
Yes. Who we want to see on the team is probably different than who we'd like to see.
I would like to see him pick the people who I think we can beat.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Fleetwood's tournament at the Tour Championship, which we completely forgot to mention. He is the first person in FedEx Cup history to make the Tour Championship his first win.
I thought there was one more. I thought Chad Campbell did it.
Oh, I don't think so. Chad Campbell's a silly old carrot. But yes, let's talk about the stats, Jacob, because this makes for some very interesting reading.
Yeah, I mean, immediately the first thing that strikes you is that over the whole event, he was the only person to gain over a stroke putting, which for Tommy Fleetwood is insane. And not only a stroke, he gained 2.04 strokes. The next person was 0.97 in Russell Henley.
Wow.
Like, that's over a stroke gained on the greens in a field of that class. You know, these are the 30 best players of this year. They are realistically have no kink in their armour at all in regards of how good they are. They obviously can do incredible things. Granted, Rory is significantly better driver than the ball than some other people. But for someone like Tommy Fleetwood, who his putting has been the issue, you know, that how many times you watch him play a round of golf and he leaves putt short and he's timid and he doesn't really roll the ball to the hole. And then he made that change to the mallet putter this year about 6 months ago. And you've seen from that point onwards, really, there's been a slow progression, but he's now finally got to this point where he is rolling the ball really well. And he putted amazingly across all 4 days. Maybe it's sort of scar tissue from watching him so much and wanting and feeding the ball into the hole. But when he had birdie putts this weekend, it just felt like it was going to go in. You know, usually, you know, he's an incredible iron player and he can stiff it to 5-10 feet from 300 yards away. But then you still wouldn't find it a given that he'd put it in the hole. So finding the putter, and obviously this is something that you've seen with Scotty. If he putts well, he wins golf tournaments. And, you know, even for his, you know, I think he basically was middled out for putting this week. And as the old adage say, I guess it's putting for dough and driving for show. But he performed in a way that was of an extra echelon that I think we've seen from Tommy Fleetwood before. Naturally, to go and win a golf tournament of this magnitude against the 30 best players in the world, you have to do that. But this was a level of Tommy that I don't think we've ever seen before. I genuinely feel this is one of the best he's ever played in a event. Obviously, you've got the 63 at Shinnecock, almost shooting a 62. He has these moments in these individual rounds. Like, I think, remember we were looking at the BMW in the past, and when which was at Aronimink, which is where the PGA is going to be this year.
Yeah,
and he is a course record holder for that course. Not only does he have it once, he has it twice. And not only does he have 62, which is the course record, twice, he did it in the same event. He did it second and third day, and he didn't win the event. He shot 1 under, 1 over, and shot 62s in the middle. But that's just what the Tommy Fleetwood we've known to be. Yeah. He's just not packaged it all up in 4 days of golf.
Yeah.
And he was just so consistently good every single day. And I mean, he got off to a quick start. You know, he's definitely someone that you usually feel has to come from behind rather than hold his position at the front. But he did that well, led basically every day. I mean, I could wax lyrically all day about Tommy Fleetwood in terms of how good a golfer he is, but it's just so nice to have that support of he's won this event and he's won the FedEx Cup. Now, that was only kind of like a short little dive into the tape, but the thing that I was really interested to find out, obviously they've changed the format this year.
Yes.
And, you know, the way that they've gone about it is that you usually would have starting strokes, and so Scotty Scheffler would have had a lead against the rest of the field.
Mm-hmm. Because he was the leader in the FedEx Cup. Because he was the
leader in the FedEx Cup standings.
Yeah.
So the thing I wanted to find out, I don't know, would Scotty Scheffler have won the FedEx if it was how it used to be?
In the old format?
In the old format, yeah.
Good question.
Because I think he might have.
Luckily, we've already done the research.
Have we done the research?
So before we get to the result, let's just talk through what the changes were. So effective in 2025, the Tour Championship is a 72-hole event. Stroke play, all the players at the tournament starting on even par. But previously, the leader in the FedEx Cup standings would have started 10 under and had a 2-shot lead on the guy in second, which is what happened last year. And for players of that level, having a 2-shot lead is basically, and they're the best player of the year, to get the 2-shot lead is kind of handing them the trophy.
Absolutely.
Which didn't really make sense. So they're all starting at the same level, which is how it should be. And the best performer over the course of the 4 rounds at the Tour Championship wins the FedEx Cup. Perfect. Mm-hmm. They adjusted the course setup. So the fan committee, they have a thing. Oh, what's the fan committee called? I suppose not the Player Advisory Council.
The PGA Tour Rules Committee?
No, there was a specific name I found. Anyway, they asked the fans what they wanted to see, and the fans said they wanted to see the winning score closer to par. Mm-hmm. They didn't want people shooting 20, 30, 40, 50 under over the course of the weekend, so they tried to make the course in a way that would provide more risk and reward, that would heighten drama, make the competition more fierce, so that you're rewarding fans at the event. Not only are they seeing the best 30 players from the year, they're also seeing them compete really hard to try and win. Great. And they wanted it to be the toughest tournament to qualify for. So it's already the most elite field in golf. The Tour Championship field size remaining at 30 players. And they're trying to, basically what they're trying to do is raise the stakes. They're trying to make it more interesting. They're trying to make it more exciting, which I think they did. Mm-hmm. I really liked the fact that they started all from the same point. I really like the fact that they didn't gift the best player from the year the tournament. So let's go through and look at what would have happened if they had played it in the old format. If Scheffler had had a 2-shot lead going into the tournament, what would have happened? And here's the result. The top 5 would have looked like this. Patrick Cantlay, who finished T2, would have finished T4.
Okay.
Cameron Young would have finished T4.
Okay.
Russell Henley would have finished in 3rd.
Okay, yep.
Scotty Scheffler would have won the event.
Wow, okay.
Tommy Fleetwood would have finished in 2nd.
Interesting.
Under the old format.
So he got, what was it? So I was saying there, so Scotty was 24 under, Tommy was 23 under, so it was a shot in it. Wow, okay. Well, I'm sure Scotty Scheffler is sat at home looking at that leaderboard, wondering why the hell, the greatest rule change ever in golf, according to Tommy Fleetwood, and the worst, according to Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, shout out Taco Golf for the rule change.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Because obviously this has been, a sticking point, a talking point for a few years now of how they do this, because of how long a season it is and how, stretched out you can gain your points and all this kind of stuff, for it to obviously then just come down to one tournament. And theoretically, the person who finished 30th in the standings can win the FedEx Cup. Mm-hmm. The kind of fan in me enjoyed this in a sense that you just knew everyone was starting off and you don't almost go into the tournament going, well, Scotty Scheffler's going to probably win it, isn't he? So it engaged my interest back into the tournament, because I probably wouldn't have watched as much if he was at the top all the time. You know what's going to happen. Rory did a press conference before the event, and he kind of spoke about how the players have had conversations, and going forward it might change and it might go to something different. One of the things that I know they had spoken about was creating a match play. Ooh. Now, I can see the pros and cons. I can understand why you would want it. To me, it just feels a bit weird to have this event and the FedEx standings be cumulative throughout the year on stroke play, and then the thing that decides it is match play. It feels a bit weird to me that they would kind of go against that, but I can also see the benefits of maybe bracketing it, so 30th and 1st plays each other and 29th and, doing it so it was a closing thing. The only thing then you kind of could tempt to happen is, in the ideal world, and I guess this is what they had with the match play in Texas with the WGC, but if you have a Rory versus Scotty final, you have created the perfect dynamic in that everyone's going to want to watch this one-on-one event. I get that. On the other flip side of it, if by all intents and purposes, Ben Griffin's not a bad example, but like I don't know, Sung Jae Im had a really great week alongside on the other side of the draw was a Akshay Bhatia, and you've got a Im Bhatia final. Is the intrigue, is the interest as strong as it would be? Like, obviously some people are going to be, and the build up to that might have been interesting, and he might have had to have knocked off Scotty to get there and things like that. But do the tour think that creating that is the best way of representing the best player on the tour? I don't know. I can see the benefits. I'm kind of playing a little bit devil's advocate in this, but it's certainly something they could look at doing for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like qualify, and I know you hate it when we do a football analogy, but it's like qualifying for the playoffs in League One or Championship or whatever, and then you just have to beat a certain amount of teams in a cup-type competition to get yourself through.
Football, but you saw it with the new Champions League format now. Like
Champions
you can
League
be
format.
22nd, and then you go into a playoff section. You don't get automatically through, but you still stay in it despite probably maybe winning one game of football.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one, isn't it? Then I don't think it's hard because they're never going to get it right for everyone. Like no one's going to be happy about it, and someone is going to lose. And in this regard, to be honest with you, I think the only real loser probably is Scotty, because he should have won. The only person that loses out is the person who's in first. Everyone else is kind of it's
tricky because you want to be rewarded for having played the best for the entire year.
Yeah.
Which you do by gaining entry. If you're in the top 30, you get into the tournament. You get the opportunity to go and win the thing, which is great. The difference is that if you worked really hard to get right to the top, and then just before the tournament kicks off, they level the playing field and they say, oh, by the way, you and the guy who came 30th, Sepp Stracker, or was it, who got in right at the end?
Yeah, Akshay was 30th.
Akshay was 30th. Like, you and him are now on level footing, even though you've played much better than him over the course of the year.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more just a mentality of what you look at it as, because if you see it as just as you said, to get the opportunity to play for the FedEx Cup, to win the most amount of money you can, you just need to get top 30.
Yeah.
It's not about the fact of
save yourself.
Yeah, you don't need to be first.
Just get good enough to get in.
But I guess,
and then when you get there, finally play your best golf.
And I guess that's kind of obviously then it does come down on if you just play your best golf that week, which obviously Tommy Fleetwood has done. But of course, he was very consistent throughout the year. But again, if you look at it as if there is a standings and the person in first needs to benefit from that, then that event in itself isn't what the whole race to the FedEx Cup is about, really, because it's about getting in to play in it, not necessarily getting as high as you possibly need to get the starting. Because I mean, if you did it in kind of like a percentage basis, or you worked out the gaps between people points related, Scotty would probably have had an 8-shot lead on FedEx points. If you really wanted to work out the individual stuff,
you start the amount under par of tournaments you've won.
Yeah, literally, and he'd be 37 under or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, but like I say, if you change the mind, because it just clicks. If you change the mindset of it, of just saying it's not about being at the top to get into it. It's more about you just need to get into the top 30, and that pool of 30 players, then you have the chance. Then it's okay, fair enough. Scotty's played best throughout the year. It less becomes more about a race to the FedEx Cup in terms of getting to the top. It's more about a race to getting to play for the FedEx Cup, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I wonder if they should hand out 2 trophies. They should hand out a cumulative over the course of the season.
I think that's a good way.
You won the league.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
You're the champions. And also, the person who wins the tournament should also get a trophy.
I think you could do that as the cumulative one is the FedEx Cup.
Yes.
That's the one that you've played the best throughout the year.
Yeah.
You've got the most points. You deserve the cup. And then the event is the Tour Championship, and you have the Tour Championship.
So Tommy would have won the Tour Championship, and Scheffler would have been rewarded by being given the FedEx Cup for having played the best all year.
I think that could be a good way of going about it.
Come on, guys.
I guess that's a bit like how the DP World Tour do it, really.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have the final in Dubai, you have the winner of the Dubai event, and then you also have the winner of the race to Dubai.
Rory.
Yeah, usually, but yeah. But no, that's definitely. I think that's probably one way they should look at doing it.
Yeah, potentially.
Because I don't think they need to change much. Because I think it's good that it is just a one-off event and anyone can win it.
Yeah, and at the same course every year. I like that.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Just give them a big old staff like they do.
Oh, God, good old staff. Now that's all. It's all wonderful. Well done, Tommy. You are our favourite.
Forever in my heart.
Okay, wonderful. The question I have for you is this: is 2025 going to be the best year in European golf history? Let me list you the things that are going to happen.
Right. Okay.
Rory wins the Masters.
That was pretty good.
Peter Finch get through to final qualifying.
Even better.
Both Mick and Jacob break 75 for the first time.
Even better.
Fleetwood.
In the same week. In the same, like, back-to-back days.
We'll come to it.
Oh, my God.
Fleetwood wins on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
All that's left is for Team Europe to batter the US at Bethpage. Can you imagine Justin Rose holding the winning putt against Bryson in the final match of day 3? He turns to the fans, turns to the team.
The old point again.
Oh,
yeah, that would be.
2 more years. 2 more years.
I think if they win, Luke stays again. He is captain at Adair. I'd like you keep him on till he doesn't lose. It doesn't win. I think.
Yeah.
Just keep him going. Keep rolling.
Let's do it.
Keep it going. I mean, the team's going to be very similar. I know we'll get onto that in a minute.
Yeah.
But,
Do you want to talk about your 75?
I'd love to talk about my 75. I thought you'd never ask.
Okay, so the major golf news of last week actually, is that both Jacob and I broke 75 for the first time. We are mid-handicappers.
Yeah. I think...
Were you like a 10?
I think
10,
we're
11?
yeah, I'm 10.1 now.
10.1. Okay, did you put that card in?
Yeah.
Of course you bloody did. I haven't done mine yet. It's in my bag. I'm taking it to the golf club after work. I'm 13.5. So
Yeah.
we're good.
I think we're probably lower than mid now.
Okay,
I'd
so
say we're...
What's the name for it?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're between...
Annoying is what it is.
We're between low and mid handicap.
Because we're not terrible, but we're not amazing.
Exactly. So we're okay at golf, right? However, it is the best score I've ever shot by 9 shots. I shot 73.
Yeah, it was best by 7 for me.
Yeah. So my previous best was 82,
My previous was 78.
which is insane.
Yeah.
We were talking about flow state. We were talking a little bit about not thinking about it. You know, you see people like Fleetwood just have 4 incredible days back to back. The difference is that the round of golf before my best round was probably one of the worst of my year. And the round of golf after my best round was probably one of the top 3 worst of my year. How the heck do they do it for
Every
4
day,
rounds in a row?
I know. It's amazing, isn't it?
How do they do that?
But it goes to show with, because like, so the thing we both kind of related on with how we did, because say I shot 71, you shot 73, literally one day after the other. And naturally your golf swing has to be at this point where you can get up to the golf ball, and because you are particularly swinging it well and the rhythm's just on that day, or you're just getting it in the slot that day, or whatever it might be, you don't have to think about too much.
Get it in the cradle.
You don't have to think about too much, and that's definitely how I felt with a lot of the golf that I played. You know, you hit that first drive and it goes well, and you've gone, oh yeah, no, I feel like I can replicate that throughout the day. And it's the same with the irons and all the and obviously short game is a big part of it. You have to get up and down. You're not going to hit every green, but as you say, like, for them to completely do this every single day for 4 days over 30 weeks of the year, it is amazing how incredible these guys are. But I felt just as good when I did 71.
Yeah,
so.
What we were talking, obviously we've had a large debrief, Jacob and I, but one of the things that was consistent between our 2 rounds is that we weren't trying to like overpower the golf course. We weren't thinking really, apart from where you wanted to aim, you weren't thinking about your swing. You were just going out there and swinging what felt natural. Observing. Did you hit balls before?
No.
So
sorry, I did. I hit 3 balls into a net, and I hit them all well, and I just walked away because I was like, I don't want to jinx it.
Don't jinx it. I hit a few. I maybe hit 20 balls on the range, a couple of 8 irons, couple of 6. I always do the same thing: 8 iron, 6 iron, 2 iron, which is what I was hitting a lot of the tee, a couple of drivers, and I was good. I noticed that I was hitting fades with my irons. The 2 iron I was pulling, and the driver was hitting a kind of controlled slice. So I thought to myself, cool, it's not a long golf course. I'll just go out and play with the tools that have been placed in front of me. I'm hitting slight fades with my irons, and I'm hitting my 2 irons slightly left. I hit 2 drivers all day. Didn't need it. Wasn't a long course. Pretty tight, but not long. And I just... Do you know when you have a blow-up hole, you think to yourself, oh, well, that's the round gone. On the second, it's a par 5. I hit an okay drive. I then tried to hit 7 wood, like short of the green, and topped it. And I hit like 30 yards in front of me. And I was like, a previous version of my mindset on that day would have gone, oh, God, well, that's that ruined. But I was in a mental state where I thought to myself, oh, cool, I'm like 30 yards closer to the green. I can probably hit the green now.
Yeah.
Which is not something I would normally think. I would normally beat myself up over some little failure like that. Made bogey. Fine. Take it. You know, we were playing in a society Stableford. I was playing off of 10. I made 46 points.
Bet they loved you. 0
blobs. Fly in. Win the money, fly back out. But it does, I was saying, I bought myself a pint afterwards because I was like, I need to celebrate. And I was saying, I don't know, if that doesn't ever happen again, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. What the problem I found was that I shot 71, and I even said to everyone, because we were playing golf the next day, and I said, look, I could shoot 90 tomorrow, 100 tomorrow, and I would be fine.
Yeah.
I've got the representation. The good golf is there. I know I can do it. I can tell people, I can show people I've done it. Like, I've played amazing golf. And maybe this is more of a personal kind of mindset that I struggle with more so. But when it does start to go a little bit wrong, there is this kind of voice in the back of my head that's going, but you just shot 71 yesterday. Why? Like this, you kind of have to kind of take away that this is not the norm.
Yeah.
Like you are now not that golfer every time you play. Like you are.
Cool, I shoot 73 now.
Yeah, you are still your handicap for a reason. Yeah. Like, and you know, when I went and played Ringway a couple of times after, and I played back-to-back days, and I shot 5 over on the front the first day, and then I shot 3 over on the front the second day. So I had decent starts. Like in the 3 over, I was playing really well. Back 9, I didn't make a single par both days. I bogeyed every hole.
Yeah.
And it was just something like, I've gone from playing really great golf in 9 holes to really not crap, but an irritating golf
but only irritating because of the 71. Yeah, because of the context. If you had bogeyed every hole, like you chuck in a few pars every now and again, that's like pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Like if I bogey every hole, I'm getting shots, great.
That's fine.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
If I get a run of pars in a row, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a tour player.
Yeah. But to me, that's like in my head, I go, right, I've got 4 pars in a row, 3 pars in a row. That set me up now. Like I could bogey every hole and I've got a good score.
Yeah.
Like once you've nailed in those 4 or 5 pars or whatever it might be, then you could kind of, for me, I sort of settle a bit.
Yeah.
Because then when you make that bogey, you're like, well, I've got the kind of the ammo behind me that I can use.
Yeah.
I think moral of the story is just don't shoot good scores because it just
I think
mentally loses it.
I think the moral of the story is that the good score is out there.
Yeah.
But
and when you don't expect it.
Yeah. I was playing with Lauren's stepdad Martin. We went out in a 2-ball. And we just went, and the previous time I had said to myself, you're younger, they're all retirees.
Yeah.
I was like, you're younger than this lot. You should be smashing it past them.
Yeah.
So on every tee, I was trying to mash the ball to prove that I was
how much longer I could hit.
How much younger and strong. I wanted them to be like, oh God, you hit it a long way, don't you?
Yeah.
The second time we went out, I just thought, I'm just going to hit it. Like I'm going to hit it, every shot I'm going to hit smooth. Mm-hmm. And I hit loads of greens in regulation and I putted much better than I had done. Like, the good score is there for you.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of get out of your own way a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And like you said, don't expect for that to become how you play golf because the next time around,
you're only going to get disappointed.
It may not go the way it went just that time.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about the Ryder Cup teams, and then we're going to watch Keegan make his picks.
Yeah.
And we're either going to laugh or we're going to cry.
Bit of both, I reckon.
Cool. Welcome back. The good news is that the automatic qualifiers are locked.
Yeah, we now know who is going to show up at Bethpage Black in a few weeks.
Well, so we know some of them.
We do. We know 6 on each team.
Yes. So from Team Europe, Rory McIlroy, Bob McIntyre, which I love, Tommy Fleetwood, of course, Justin Rose, Ryder Cup legend, Tyrrell Hatton, and the most recent automatic qualifier, Razzie Højgaard.
Yeah.
Which he has pipped some people.
And I mean, we're going to kind of really more focus on the US team. I'm sure we'll chat, but we can have a little chat maybe, or we're definitely going to chat a lot more about Europe in episodes coming up. I think this automatic selection for Rasmus changed everything for the picks. I think it was such a significant moment that he got in. I also felt slightly hard done for the fact that Straka and Lowry were playing in the Tour Championship and you couldn't get points. Because that's why he overtook them. Because Lowry had a good finish at Eastlake. Obviously, Straka didn't do very well, which again I think is something we'll probably talk about going forward. But Rasmus got his points from playing at the British Masters, and he leapfrogged them, despite the other two playing in probably the best qualified event that you can play in outside of the majors.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something a little bit. Maybe I'm missing something there. That
was it because there was no cut or something?
Maybe.
I wonder why they didn't get points.
Maybe there must have been something. But again, it just feels a little bit okay. But either way.
But also, if you want to get in the Ryder Cup team and you're not automatically in the Ryder Cup team, go and play in the event that gets you in the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah.
Are they allowed to not turn up to the Tour Championship?
Well, it's been a bit of a sticky point, isn't it, with Rory not playing, and Straka didn't play the first two anyway. So, it was a bit of a tricky one. Anyway, so that's our 6.
Yeah.
I think that the 6 that are going to get picked is already basically written down in pen. And do we...
because of
Rasmus.
Getting in.
As much as him getting in solidified who I think is going to get picked, I think if he didn't get in, it would have been unfortunate on him because he probably would have finished 7th in the qualification thing anyway. I just think it allowed Luke to look slightly elsewhere if he didn't feel that Rasmus was the type of fit that he wanted. It the only thing now is Straka. I think Straka's form will be the only slight concern that he'll have. But I think as a whole, the picks that we should see are the ones that you expect.
Okay, so talk us through who do you expect?
Well, Lowry's in straight away. Oberg's in straight away. Victor's in straight away. I think Matty Fitz now gets in because he's played really well over the last few weeks. Had a really good finish again at the British Masters. And I also think that Rahm is getting in, and that's your 5. So then you've got either Straka getting picked, which I think
like last year
makes sense because it keeps the Rome team together. But then if it was Rasmus instead of Lowry was automatically in, or Straka, I think it just allowed the Penge, the Hall, the Rye, the Højgaard. If it was, I just think that 12th spot became slightly more open if they wanted to go a different way. I just think now that if you can pick 6 guys that played together already, one in Rome, and it keeps that team literally the same, except you've swapped the first name of a Højgaard.
In fact, could be the same one.
Could be the same one. Literally, they could swap him in and out both days and we won't know.
Yeah, so Raz is playing and then Nikolai and then Raz.
Yeah, he's fresh today. Well, because he didn't play yesterday.
He shaved. He's grown his beard back.
That's why they keep the hair the same, just in case of these occasions.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like the team is slightly more solidified, but I'm sure we'll talk about it in future episodes. And I think that there is definitely argument for other people for sure. Yeah,
I think there's the only other questions I feel were Hovland didn't have a great start to the year, so that's a tricky one. Oberg, didn't quite jump forward like we wanted him to. Fitzpatrick obviously has had great form recently. And then Dietrich had a good run.
Yeah.
And then the 3 that you were talking about is Hall, Rye, and Penge. Penge again recently played really well. Aaron Rye has just had a solid, a really good season. So it's going to be a tricky one for Luke Donald to kind of break up the team.
And I think that's the thing that will be playing on his mind, is the fact that he has an opportunity now to basically pick the same team. And for continuity,
reuse the uniforms.
I'm not going to say reuse the partnerships, but there's something to be said in going to an away Ryder Cup and being able to not change a lot. You know that how all these guys operate. You know who they want to play with. It just makes everything a little bit more clear, a little bit more easier in regards to how they want to go about it.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got information that you'd have gained from Rome that you can now take into what is a very tricky thing to do, and that's win an away Ryder Cup.
Yeah. So we're about to watch Keegan make his picks live and react live. But what I'd like to do first is ask you a question. Which US players do we want them to pick?
From a selfish standpoint.
From a selfish, we think we can beat them standpoint.
Okay.
And which US players do we not want them to pick because they'll pose the biggest threat to an upset at Bethpage?
Okay. So going off who is already in, so you've got Scheffler, Henley, Spawn, English, DeChambeau, and
Shafoff.
Yes, correct. Now, outside of just going, let's have Kevin Kisner. Let's have.
So they've got to be, they've got to be within reach.
I'll give them. Yeah.
So we've got from here. We've got 7 to 23.
Right.
So you've got
that's the European.
Yeah. So we've got 7 to 21.
Yeah.
And make smart choices here.
Yeah.
Who do you think they're going to take to start with?
Okay, I think that's easy. So I personally think that top sort of 13 there is kind of your pool of players, and they might dip in a little bit. So I think Justin goes. I think Justin goes. I think Colin goes. I think Ben Griffin goes. I think Patrick Cantlay goes. I think Sam Burns goes. I think that's your 5. And then I think the conversation then comes down to, does he pick himself? Does he pick Maverick McNeely, who's played well throughout the year and is higher in the standings out of all of these? Or do you pick Cameron Young, who has played really well towards the end of the year? I think he's going to go Cameron Young, just purely from a course fit standpoint. I don't think he's going to pick himself. I think that he's alluded in some of the things he said that he isn't going to do that. And I think that he knows how hard it is to transition between playing and being the captain. And I think also that making the change this quickly now, unless we haven't seen behind the door, because everyone's saying that like Jim Furyk will step up and do it, or one of the other vice captains. But I just think making that change so close to it of what's already been, you've already gone through the process of captain of doing all these things, and it seems like he's doing things in a captaincy role in talking to the players and pairing himself with this and all that kind of stuff, that he's setting himself up for captaincy rather than playing, which is a shame because we probably wouldn't be having this conversation if he wasn't. He would be in the team. He should have been in the team for Rome anyway. So he's kind of almost missed out twice from no fault of his own.
Yeah.
And so, there's a conversation I think to be had, the fact that he only was really captain this year because of the Netflix stuff last year, and they kind of went, oh shoot, we should probably give him. Yeah,
so he's going to have to, that horrible phone call that we watched him receive, he's going to have to make to some of these players to say, listen, I know you thought you were getting in, and I would have loved to take you, but I can't take everyone, so I'm taking myself.
Yeah, it's like even more ironic if he has to say, and it's me that's going.
Yeah. So that's who you think they'll take.
Yes.
Who do we not want them to take? Like, give me 3 people who are going to be a big threat to us, to Team Europe at Bethpage.
Threat-wise, I think Cantlay, even though he's not been great this year at all, really. Like, he's played some good golf, but I just think off the back of Rome, they need that kind of, something to take from that. And obviously the Joe LaCava situation, having him there with Cantlay in itself is almost like a little bit of a 13th man, I suppose. And Cantlay in Ryder Cups is been amazing. And that Cantlay-Schauffele partnership is strong. Like, you've seen them play together in like the Zurich Classic and things like that. Like, they know how to play with each other. And I think that pairing just falls into each other. The one that I kind of think will be sneaky because we go, I don't really think there's going to be, is actually Sam Burns. I think he again has played really well towards the back end of the year. He's a brilliant putter. He's one of those guys that he will hit it to 30 foot and Rory will put it to 10. Then Burns will roll in the 30-footer, and all of a sudden it's that match play moment of like, how are we now struggling to halve the hole? Like, he's just got that ability, and obviously making putts is so important, which is why I think Hall should be in the conversation for us. But The third person I'd say that is of people who I would not want to go and I think is a risk is probably, I don't know. I think like Cam Young's an interesting one because again, good form, hits the ball far, kind of you can see him playing well around that golf course. I think Ben Griffin's just someone who could just go under the radar a little bit. I think you kind of one of those that when the singles come out and he's up against, it may be Rory or something, but like something like that, you just look at it and you go, oh, you just kind of put blue on the board.
Yeah.
But he's been too good this year not to be a problem at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And, it always helps that when it's a rookie playing, that they're playing in the country that they are representing, So when he's going to have the team behind him, he's won with Novak playing in a format that you're going to play in the Ryder Cup for the Zurich. So he's used to playing foursome and four ball. Like there's that element to it as well. So I think Ben's like third, but like sneakily, you don't think about him, but he is going to be a really strong contender on this team.
Yeah, I think Harman is that for me.
Yeah.
I think he, under the radar, he got himself in at Marcus Simone because he had won a major and he was playing really, really well. And then he just didn't quite deliver it. But in an American crowd on an American course, the guy hits it so straight. He's not long, but he is very, very accurate.
And a great putter.
And again, an incredible putter. So that is the struggle for me. The people who I want them to take, who I hope they take, because it makes Team Europe's life so easy. Justin Thomas.
Okay.
He's had a bad year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got it in him. He's
obviously won, but in a period halfway through the season.
Yeah, but he comes up in those conversations of people who are like, the Scheffler and Rory and DeChambeau are playing at this event, and by the way, Justin Thomas is also here.
Yeah.
Like his
majors this year have been.
Yeah, he's been terrible. Yeah, I hope they take Colin Morikawa. Because again, he just has not had the form this year that everyone expects him to have.
Yeah,
and I really hope that Keegan Bradley picks himself because it will disrupt that team to such a high level that it, in theory, should make Team Europe's job even simpler. Turn up, be a unit, find the cracks in that team, and just press down as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And if the crack in that team is that Keegan Bradley is on hole 16 while some decision needs to get made, perfect.
I think all of Team Europe and any European fan is hoping that he picks himself. I don't think anyone sees it as a positive. I mean, he's
a bloody good golfer.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like he's very, very good.
Yeah, it's hard to get away from the fact because he is playing very well.
But it will make their team weaker.
Yeah,
if their captain is distracted.
Yeah, I think just naturally it is just an incredibly hard thing to do, and to me, you either just have to play or you have to captain. It's one way or the other, and I think he's going to stick with the captaincy. There's just I don't know, it's a weird year for America, isn't it? Because obviously there's a lot of names there that you would expect to be in that are not in. There's a lot of names that obviously now are at live and struggle to get points if you don't play well, like Bryson has in the majors.
Yeah, in the majors, yeah.
It feels a bit transitional. I think there's definitely some guys that are stalwarts and have played in many Ryder Cups and will be a problem. But there is just kind of like a JJ Spawn. Like he's one of theoretically their best players and should be an issue, but a rookie going into a Ryder Cup, it's just there's
a rookie finishing that high up going into a Ryder Cup.
There's absolutely nothing you can take away from the bloke that he's played incredible golf this year, and he is going to be an issue. Like again, an incredible putter, and that's something you always come back to on Ryder Cups. You have to hold putts, and he strikes me as the same kind of guy that is just going to be there all the time, like just an irritation that's going to roll in putts that they shouldn't have made, and they're going to hit it from an awkward position and get it close, and just those kind of guys when you're watching that are just an irritable person to be up against. But it's a really interesting year for Team USA, I think, because there's been set partnerships, obviously, with Thomas and Spieth. Like you kind of just write their names down before it's even started.
Yeah,
they're going to have to find new partnerships this year in new ways, and they put people together last year that didn't work. It's not like they've got much to not last year.
We haven't even spoke about Brooks Koepka.
Well, exactly, but there's people like that just haven't made the team this year. Does he go completely against and pick a Patrick Reed? You know, does he claim on that, you know, Captain America and go for that? That feels very Keegan. It feels like he has this kind of like, you know, outward aggression towards it of like, we're going to kill him and we're going to beat him and all this kind of. We saw it in the Netflix documentary with Full Swing, but that would make sense. But I mean, he's gonna be picking very soon, so we'll literally in a second be reacting to it.
Well, we're going to do that right now. So the next time you see us, we will be looking at this computer in about an hour's time. In about 2 hours' time, we'll be sat down making a mockery or a statement of fear based on what Keegan Bradley has decided to do. He's either taken himself or he's not. He's either taking Sam Burns or he's not. He's either going to pick some weird guys from Liv who don't really deserve to be in the team because they didn't get enough points, or he's not. We're going to find out right now. Here we go. Yes. Yes. There he is, looking mighty miserable. Oh, he's wearing his hat.
I thought he'd be a bit happier than that, but I mean, I don't know. It's not like a massive surprise, is it really? I think given the fact that he was so close to qualification automatically anyway, I know that you have opinions on his golf this year as a whole anyway, but obviously winning the Heritage, he's sort of actually kind of found more form this year than he has in previous years, especially given the fact that he got picked for Rome and he was even worse then.
Yeah.
His major form this year has been really poor.
Yeah, he failed on courses that were particularly long and particularly difficult and wide, and he won on a very short, very tight course.
Yeah.
So, you know, read into that what you will. I think that he's getting in on Heritage. He's not getting in on his form this year.
Yeah, he's just definitely one of those players that, you know, I'm by no means putting him in the same sort of echelon as Poulters and things like that for Ryder Cups, but he is if I was American looking in, he's one of those players that I think I would like to have just because he is a little bit feisty and got a little bit of edge, and I think he will get into it a bit more than maybe what you would get with some of the other picks that were there.
Yeah, but you don't get to be feisty and fist bump if you're getting battered 6-1 by...
Well, you know, he might, but, you know, it's always... I think it's a tricky one sometimes with Ryder Cups, because, again, we, you know, as European fans, we are sat in the perfect position to talk about players who aren't that good any other week, and then 1 week comes around and they turn into one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, we're hoping that happens with Oberg. We're hoping that Lowry, like if Lowry gets in, that Lowry's, you know, finally finds some winning form for the 3 days that he needs it. But you know, the guys at in the six in Europe that are automatic have all played exceptionally well this year. So the picks are the important bit, really, because just like the US team, the top six, you can't question any of them because they all earned their way in and played incredibly, and lots of them won.
Yeah.
Justin Thomas yes, he won, but it just doesn't fit. It doesn't feel like they're picking him based on his ability to go out and play well because he has done already this season. They're picking him because he has done before. Yes, I told you, Colin Morikawa. So Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa. If he picks himself, we're going to win the Ryder
Cup. My thing with Colin is that he. We spoke about it before, and I don't like to focus in too much on one particular thing. But at the end of the day, to win holes, you have to make putts. And Colin Morikawa has been renowned for being a very streaky putter, in that some days it is cold, and I mean really cold. But then some days he rolls the rock well, and that again, you know, that kind of all comes down to that for those 3 days of golf, who turns it on at the right time. This one, to me, this one is more weird than JT for me.
Do you reckon?
Just only busy being because I think in my mind, I'm thinking of the Colin Morikawa from last year who came close to winning majors, who was consistently good throughout the year. And then this year, he kind of hasn't got to that level again, but has been there or thereabouts. But he's then been very peripheral, very in the back of your mind, not really sort of thought about him much this year. I'm not this one. I'm all right about.
Yeah.
JT. I can understand both sides of it, but I think you just have to go with what you know, and you know that he does enjoy the environment of a Ryder Cup, and if he does play golf at the right time, or good golf at the right time, he'll be a problem. The problem is that you're going to think his playing partner in Jordan Spieth is not going to be here this year.
No.
So that'll be an interesting thing to see how he kind of,
Unless,
hey.
Isn't Spieth still injured? I think Spieth's still injured.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably weirder things that have happened.
Yeah. I mean, in Ryder Cup history, it wouldn't be the oddest thing to ever have occurred.
Yeah.
But listen, I think this bodes well for Team Europe that they're picking two players, in my mind, who haven't played to their best of their ability this year, and hoping that, like you said, they have the form on the weekend when they need it. So I feel good so far.
Yeah.
I feel as good as I could have felt. But also the two most predictable picks.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
in position 7 and 8. You know, they almost made it into the automatic spots, didn't quite. So if you're not taking the people nearer the top of the list, then you clearly aren't doing your research anyway. So Keegan Bradley, as predictably as possible, has picked the two players who we expected.
There you go.
There we go. Ben Griffin's in.
I'm 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah.
That one I think is a good pick. He's just made such an astronomical jump this year. He's not only won twice, once by himself, once with Novak, but then also he has just played so consistently well throughout the year. Mm-hmm. It's not been what I would put in a Justin Thomas kind of sort of mold of peaked and troughed at different points, and it's kind of hard to work out what kind of player you're going to get. I mean, Justin did have a good finish towards the end of the Tour Championship, but with Ben Griffin, it's just one of those situations where I think he falls into that bracket of you just couldn't look past it in terms of how good he played this year.
Yeah.
But then this is what I said about before we got to this point. Like, it's this transitional period for this American team where this guy was not even touching the team. I remember I put a question to you and the other guys at the start of the year to say, like, who are the potential sort of rookies that we might see? And, as did I, as no one, no one said Ben Griffin, because why would we think Ben Griffin?
Yeah.
And that's obviously the beautiful thing about golf.
We didn't know he was going to have the year he was going to have.
Absolutely, no. And, I think even maybe with the Ryder Cup for Europe, we said maybe Dietrich's name, and obviously he got off to a good start. But I like this pick.
It's a much more. I want to. This guy basically has played his way in, despite not making it into the automatics. He played so well this year. Every time the camera was on him, you were expecting him to do something very, very good. He was always near the top of the leaderboards of the tournaments he was in. We got used to we got used to seeing his name at the top of the leaderboards, and he did it consistently.
Absolutely,
which is the thing that Thomas and Morikawa haven't done, which makes this a scarier pick from the European perspective.
I think it makes complete sense. You could say he's won tournaments on the PGA Tour playing 4-ball foursome formats. He's obviously a great player in his own right throughout the year, and that's probably the scariest so far.
Cam Young.
Okay, there you go. So I'm 4 for 4 now.
You are?
He to me was that kind of 12th man, what are they going to do pick.
Yeah, he was your peripheral.
He was my peripheral, and that to me, if this is the way that he's gone, that means that the likes of like a Maverick McNeely and things aren't going to get in the team. I think it's a good pick. I think he's a good course fit. He obviously needs to hit the ball long off the tee to get around Bethpage, and he certainly is that.
Yeah.
He's obviously a guy that's won very recently on the tour. He's very much in the Tommy Fleetwood bracket of winning his first time on tour. Had a great finish in the Tour Championship. Obviously got to the FedEx final. Yeah. This is one of those kind of guys in the ascendancy where this picking situation helps a lot, because I remember thinking back to years past with Europe and stuff, and having, I think maybe like Westwood or something falling in the 7th, 8th automatic spot, and you're kind of stuck with him. But because he played so well at the start of the year, and he didn't quite fall out of the. So this is definitely where this selection, because by the start of the year, like, no one was mentioning Cameron Young's name. He'd obviously fallen off the face of the earth in a way, especially given the fact of how close he came to winning at St Andrews and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's scary because he just gives nothing away as well. Like, I can't tell if he's going to be. I feel like he will get a bit pumped, but at the same time, he's just a bit of like a stone cold killer. Like
there's a like an attraction to that, particularly for a course like Bethpage in New York, where the crowd are going to be rowdy. If he can just stalwart himself up, feed off the crowd, and just turn that into birdies, then this is a real problem.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like you said, he's long, in form. He's got the kind of winning feeling more recently than than the first two guys that came out. Like this. But again, we don't know which version of him turns up. Beginning of the season, Cam Young, not a problem. Middle to the end of the season, to winning, to playing well, Cam Young, probably a problem.
Yeah,
and long, and very long.
Yeah, so that's okay. So that's what, four picks down now.
4 picks in.
So I had Burns and Cantlay is what I thought was going to happen.
It's going to be Cantlay and himself.
See, I feel like that's got to happen now. Like, I feel like if someone like McNeely has also come up, or a Gotter up, or someone like that, then I would maybe be thinking, but surely that's the way he goes.
You got to pick Cantlay. Cantlay's like he's your kind of stirrer of the pot. Cantlay will be, won't he? He'll just frustrate the hell out of everyone. The crowd will get behind him. Team Europe will have to like not get sucked into the drama of La Cava and the crowd and the hats and all the stuff from last time, and focus on playing the golf. So I think Cantlay's got to be in. If they don't pick Cantlay next, then we got a bit of a problem, because that means that Keegan Bradley's not picking himself.
I mean, as someone maybe, we're just reading the comments there, and looks like he might have just said something accidentally to spoil a pick. But the comments are saying about Cantlay is that maybe, I mean, this is obviously but maybe Cantlay just it said, I don't want to do it.
Oh.
Because we don't really know because obviously there was the reports in Rome that came out about him not wanting to wear the hat and wanting to be paid and all this kind of stuff. Maybe he just went, I don't want to do this.
There was a time, I think 60s, where someone skipped the tournament to go hunting instead of playing the Ryder Cup. Yeah, so it wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. So
come on, Pat.
Let's
have a smile, Pat.
He's got no hat on.
Let's have a smile, Pat. Oh.
Right, so Cantlay's now picked, so that's 5 of 5 for me.
Is Burns your last one?
Burns was my last one.
Right.
And by the comments on the YouTube, it seems to suggest that Cam Young might have accidentally spoiled it. But anyway, again, this makes sense to me. He, again, hasn't had the best year in the world, but I think that's the thing.
Missed a lot of cuts in majors.
Going into this, you have to say that the European side have had the more informed players / ascending players than the American side has, which is why the picks is slightly harder to select from this bunch of guys than it is compared to our team, because I think ours just makes sense. You can kind of just see it from the standings. Whereas you could have gone many different ways, because you had those Chris Gotterups that had really come through recently, Cam Young who had come through recently. But then you had these Thomases, Morikawas, Cantlays that are the names you expect to see on a Ryder Cup team sheet. And that's obviously the way he's going.
But will we be seeing those names in the next 2, 3, 4 Ryder Cups? The JTs who, not age themselves out, but aren't maybe playing to the standard that they once did. The Morikawas, Cantlay, as these players fall off, it'll be interesting to see who the people are coming through who take those spots and become the Ryder Cup, heroes and legends or villains. And we are in that period where the two worlds are coming together. Europe did it a few years ago. We had a period where we were holding on to the Westwoods and
Stenson, McDowell,
and we were like hoping that they would bring us the previous glory that they had done, while we also brought through that kind of Fleetwood era and those kind of people. So, and now we're playing really, really well, and we're coming off the back of a really nice win. So let's see how that progresses and who those players are who come through to come and take these spots, because there's got to be a limit for JT and Morikawa and Cantlay, who have been doing it a while. And maybe aren't showing the form that they previously did.
Yeah, sure. I think like that's always really kind of been the case. I think that sort of the transitional period for both teams has almost kind of been like 2 to 4 years out of each other. Like we sort of went through it as these guys were coming in, and you know that team from 4 years ago or whenever at Whistling Straits, and it was like, look how strong this team is, how like, you know, gradual in the rankings they are. Just sorry, last pick coming in now. Okay.
Oh
so
my God, Jacob got all of them right.
Sam Burns. Just sorry, we'll come to Sam Burns in a second. But, you know, that team that played at Whistling Straits, and it was kind of this like, look at this team and look how young they are and look at what we're going to have to deal with for the next 10 years. And obviously you don't know what's going to happen. Things fall off and change. But then we've done the kind of Stenson's left, Garcia's left, McDowell's left, Westwood's left. All those guys,
Poulter.
have, you know, Keimer, Poulter, all those guys have gone. We're now embedding in those new Hovland, Oberg, Fleetwood, Hatton. You know, obviously they've played a few now.
Led by Rory and
Rahm, and all those kind of guys. And Rose is obviously still just sticking around, which is great to have that leadership in the locker room. But this American side, you say they've almost kind of. They had this purple patch, and they had this period where you thought these guys were, and they've just, you know, Scotty's obviously come through, and there's guys that are still there, but they've not continued the ascendancy in the way that you'd expected them to. But as you say, final pick Sam Burns, so that was 6 for 6 for me. Which
Jacob got all of them right. Congratulations.
Obviously does mean Keegan is captain.
Yes, not playing captain. Which I think makes them a stronger team.
I agree. I think that
despite him being ranked higher than lots of these guys, him concentrating on his job and delegating and decision making makes them a stronger team than if he was also trying to get the ball in the hole at the same time.
Yeah. So just a quick run through again, obviously. So Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Ben Griffin, Cameron Young, Patrick Cantlay, and Sam Burns are your picks. The guys that probably are going to feel a little bit hard done by, maybe thought they might, someone like Maverick McNeely. Obviously, Keegan was there, Brian Harmon. Novak was someone who played amazing at the start of the year and really tailed off towards the end. I think that's what probably did it for him. You've got someone like Wyndham Clark. You've got Gotterup, who probably just left it a little bit too late. You know, there's Akshay, Lucas Glover, Wyndham Clark, those kind of guys as well.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think from that kind of 20-ish names we've got there, however many it is, I think he's probably picked this. I picked the ones that he should go for.
Yeah.
So I'm slightly concerned about the team, but I still think they don't all carry in as much form to make me worry as much as I probably would be.
Yeah.
But in terms of the 6 picks he's made, I think he has done a good job.
I think he has picked the most obvious and the most American team that he could have picked.
Yeah.
He's got experience in there. He's got some winners from this year in there. He has got some younger players in there who maybe are coming in and playing their first, second Ryder Cups. Even his qualifiers, people like JJ Spawn coming in for the first, like he has got a good mix.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a battle. It is going to be tough. We will almost definitely do another version of this when Luke Donald does his announcement. I imagine it will be much quicker. As those picks come out, we will also do a semi-reaction version for those. That's the team. Scheffler, Spawn, Schauffele, Henley, English, DeChambeau, Thomas, Morikawa, Griffin, McNeely.
No, Young.
Yeah.
Cantlay, Burns.
Young, Cantlay, Burns.
There you go.
There we go. You did it. Congratulations, Keegan Bradley. You came second at the Ryder Cup.
So there we go. I think that's probably enough chit-chat from us two.
It is indeed. Oh, look at them all there.
Oh, that's sweet.
Don't they all look sad? Why is Thingy Bob the only one wearing his hat?
Don't know. Anyway.
Right. We are going. This is coming out tomorrow morning. We're hoping to be pretty early on the train of people reacting to it. So thanks so much for your patience this week. We are going to get back to regularly scheduled programming at some point. There's Scotland next week. Hopefully we can get one done then.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's more break time. So, hey, we'll be back in your ears as soon as we can be. Thank you again. Thanks for watching. Go check out NordVPN. Your link is in the description. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.